Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those within the community, as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Welcome to Insights. I'm Sherry Stewart. Construction. It's one of the many industries impacted by the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. But despite the setback, construction jobs in Michigan are expected to grow well beyond 10% over the next coming years. One group is hoping that more women will be represented in that number. Joining us today are two women who have years of experience in the construction industry, and they're hoping that more women will join them. Well, joining us to kick off the conversation is Paige Aubin. She is the president of the National Association of Women in Construction, and she's also the president and CEO of her own company, Paige Construction.
Good morning. Yes, correct.
All right. Well, welcome, Paige. We're delighted to speak with you today. You know, I've had an opportunity to interview so many people over the years, but I must say that women in construction is definitely not a topic I've had an opportunity to talk a lot about, to learn a lot about. So tell me, what was your entry into construction? Is this something that you've always wanted to do?
No, construction kind of picked me. I had an opportunity to grow within the environmental field, and I took that opportunity. My past employer had asked quite a few of us what we could bring to the table, and I basically said, I want to learn how to estimate, and I want to become a project manager. And they gave me that opportunity. Sometimes you just need to speak up if you want something. Back when I started, most women, of course, were just in clerical or some type of personal assistant. I wanted more. I didn't want to sit behind a computer. I wanted to be out in the field. And that opportunity was brought forth to me, and I took it.
And so you have, some 20 some odd years or so in this industry?
Correct. I'm nearly working on my 25th year here. I started at General Motors for an outsource committee when we were doing dismantling of the Fisher Body Group. And then from there, I went into environmental. I started out as a secretary, manager of a company. And I left that company, went over to another company as a career move, and the gentlemen that were the owners of that company gave me the opportunity for growth. And they placed me out in the field. They taught me quite a bit. I was taking bids home and started bidding on my own. And I became the first female estimator / project manager in my division for environmental and demolition.
So apparently there's a lot of facets of construction. So tell me, if someone is watching, a woman of course wants to get involved in construction, what is the pathway? Is there a general pathway? How does your organization help women who have an interest in this area?
Well, first of all, we do have a mentorship program, and that is ran by Stacy West. She is a Naywick member. And what we try to do is find out where they're at. Are they already in construction, working for somebody else? Are they looking for growth? Or are they wanting to pursue perhaps like a trade, electrical, plumbing, welding? We give them those opportunities. We connect them with the right people, and then they have that opportunity for growth. If they go into the trades, they're making more money. They are getting their benefits. They're being able to support their family. Mm-hmm. And then we also have classes through our what we call NEF, which is the Naywick Educational Foundation. And you can go online, and they are paid classes, but you can learn about project management, you can learn about business resources for bookkeeping, any type of program that you may be looking for, we probably would have for you.
That's really interesting. So you say the welding, the trades, all of that too is a part of construction.
Yes, it is. We work closely with our trades, our building trades, so operators, the Michigan laborers, any type of trade that you're looking for to get into, the Boilermakers, electricians, Local 58, we can help them maneuver into those positions. We have had women who wanted to become bricklayers, wanted to become, like I said, electricians, master plumbers. And then of course you have the college educated students that are coming in and we help them with like internships, finding them positions where they can grow as a project manager, an estimator, whatever it is they're looking for. Civil type service work where they're out there in the field doing engineering.
And so with your years of experience, Paige, what is it that you have enjoyed most about being in the construction industry?
It definitely has been a challenge, being I was the first female in my line of work, and there's only a couple of us still in the environmental side, where it's what I do is asbestos, mold, lead remediation, and we've also pivoted and started doing COVID cleaning. I find that for myself, it's rewarding. I have met a lot of genuine people throughout my career that truly want to help you and teach you, and it doesn't matter if it's male or female. But the women that have come around me now, I feel that I have this sisterhood I've made with these ladies. We kind of support one another. We bring them up, we cheer them on, which is something I didn't have many years ago. I had a lot of males around me that wasn't sure what I was. Like, was I out there and somebody put me out there for, marketing? A lot of people thought I was in business development. No, I was actually an estimator. I was estimating these projects.
Well, Paige, we will take a break and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about your organization, what you have planned in the coming months. I know you talked about some of these mentorship opportunities, so we'll talk a little bit more about that after the break.
Insights will return after these messages.
Welcome back to Insights. We're having a conversation today with Paige Alban. She is the president of the National Association of Women in Construction, the Detroit chapter, and Paige is also the CEO of Paige Construction. Talking today, obviously, about women in construction, like I said at the onset, is not something that I get a chance to talk about quite often in my interviews. And so with that, tell me about the history of Naywick.
Okay, Naywick was founded in Fort Worth, Texas in 1953 by 16 women who were basically in a male-dominated field. Naywick now has approximately, I believe, 115 chapters across the U.S. And what we do is we provide training and leadership, networking, personal and professional development. We also have the educational classes through NEF program. Again, that's the Naywick Educational Foundation, which allows adults to expand in their education and construction.
And so, as I was saying too, that you've actually obviously seen this industry evolve. I guess, is it fair to say more inclusive of women, or just seeing more women just enter the field?
For me personally, I am just now starting to see more women entering the field. Like I said in prior, when I first started, there was really no women. And I think what is happening is we are starting to train our daughters and our granddaughters. When I was in high school, for example, if you had a creative side, you were either in art, or maybe you took business, typing, shorthand. You didn't get that opportunity to really go into the drafting side. Nobody really pushed girls over to drafting to learn about architectural or engineering. And now we're starting to enter into the elementary schools and the junior highs and the high schools and saying, listen, you can do this. You can become anything you want to be. And women technically are managers. We've managed our homes, we managed the money, we managed our children. So taking those skills and bringing them into the construction industry it makes perfect sense. We know how to manage, and I think that with the right training, you are able to do anything you want. And again, with the trades backing women now, they are able to have a well-supported system. Again, you are making money that you weren't going to be able to make, for example, just in a store. You are now making an actual wage the same as the man that's standing next to you. You are getting the benefits the same as the gentleman that is next to you. And I think that's important. I think we definitely are growing. And and I'm seeing it more and more, and it's nice to see it. And we feel that it needs to start at a younger age, and that's even for young children across the board. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. I think that there's some children that, when it comes to especially the building trades, there's some children that know right away they aren't going to go to college. But guess what? You can go into the trades and you can make some very decent money with benefits. And that's important to know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, before we let you go, Paige, we do have a couple more questions for you. First, I wanted to get, what is your thought, or what are you thinking about in terms of, I guess, the long-term outlook for women in this industry? What do you foresee? I mean, we do know that it's expected to grow. Jobs are expected to increase despite the COVID-19 setback for many industries. So what is your long-term outlook for women in construction?
I think more women are coming out here and they are taking their skills and bringing it forward. I think as long as they have support and they know they can do it, you can own a company like I do. I started mine back in 2014. I always worked for somebody else, and it's foreseeable. I am finding that men that used to be more of, and I hate to use this term, the good old boys club, it's no longer there. Men are now seeing that women can do this, and they're seeing that actually a lot of women have these special talents to enhance their company, and that we work hard and we can do what is expected of us. And sometimes we go above and beyond because we are trying to show that we know what we're doing.
Well, I guess that'll be the place that we'll leave it right there, Paige. I want to thank you for joining us today. Paige Aubin, President of the National Association of Women in Construction and also CEO of Paige Construction. It was great talking with you today.
Oh, thank you, Sherry, for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, next up to pick up the conversation is Kathy Dobson. She is Safety Director for Alberici Constructors, and she has several certifications, and she is also the incoming president, starting your tenure in October for the National Association of Women in Construction. So welcome, Kathy. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you very much, Sherry. I appreciate being on the air with you.
Yeah, I know we were saying before we picked up the segment off cam that you have so much to talk about and we only have a couple minutes. So let's just jump right in. Tell me about your history, your journey in the construction industry. You have well over 20 years of experience.
Right. Well, I have a degree in nursing, and I started out as a hospital-based nurse. And after about 15 years, I went into to a manufacturing setting as an occupational nurse. And while I was there, I got more experience as a, doing policies and procedures for the organization. I was doing training, and then I got laid off from that company, and I got picked up by the company that I currently work for. Through a lot of different experiences and a lot of different projects that I've been on, I'm now one of the directors for the organization.
That's an interesting segue from nursing into construction and managing projects and safety and all of that. What has been your experience as a woman in this industry? Traditionally, it's not very populated with women. What has been your experience then?
Right. I'm glad you said populated. Most people say it's male dominated, and I don't like that term. But I have found myself on a lot of occasions being the only woman on a project site, and that's anything from 20 people up to a couple of hundred people or more. Usually we don't see a lot of women on the job site until we do have more than 100 or 200 people on the projects. And that's kind of disconcerting because I think women have so much to offer in our industry. We are innovative, we're creative, we are detail oriented, we are really good with our dexterity and our hands. Probably some of the best welders that I've ever seen have been women, because and electricians, because we have that fine motor skill and that ability to manipulate small objects. And we kind of get limited because the industry is still populated by a lot of people who don't think that women belong really in the industry. And it's a real challenge when you try to tell people that women have worth in the organization. We can be leaders in the organization, and we get stunted because the board of directors or whatever is limiting us, or they put a woman in because they feel that they need to, rather than they feel that she's the best qualified person. You know, when I see people coming through all the time when we're doing job interviews, they look exactly like the people that are doing the career fairs. Mostly young men, polo shirts, khaki pants, and when you're walking into the interview, it's like looking in a mirror at the people that have brought them in.
Well,
So we have a tendency to populate our industry with people that we know, with people that we're familiar with. And I think sometimes as a woman, we are a little bit scary sometimes to people.
We want to talk a little bit more about that when we come back from the break. Kathy, I want you to tell us a little bit more about the organization, National Association of Women in Construction. You guys are working to help fill that void in this industry, and you're doing some really great things across the state. So we want to talk about that when we come right back.
Insights will return after these messages.
Well, welcome back to Insights. We are continuing our conversation with Kathy Dobson. She is the safety director for Aberisi Constructors and also the soon-to-be incoming president of the National Association of Women in Construction. A lot of titles there, Kathy, but you have definitely earned it with your 20-some-odd years of experience in this industry. Tell me, what are some of the things that Naywick will be doing in the coming months?
Sure. Well, Naywick is an organization, has a core purpose to strengthen and amplify the successes of women in the construction industry. And we feel that we are a women-focused organization committed to inclusion and growth. We try to anticipate change as much as we can. And since its onset, back in Fort Worth, Texas, in 1953, 16 women founded the organization, and it's now grown to about 4,800 members, over 175 chapters. And what we really try to do is to educate women, to provide women with professional development, with networking opportunities, and to develop the skill sets that they can be to be true leaders in the industry, whether they are in a trade position or whether they're in some kind of a management position.
So then with that, Kathy, tell me, what is your day-to-day experience like working in this industry?
Well, I'm there really to provide support to the to a project or a group of projects, and so my initial connection with the project is to make sure that they have their policies and procedures set up, that they understand their roles as managers and leaders in the industry, and that we take a look at the needs of the project, because we work in so many different areas. We have an automotive division and a mining division. So, I mean, you know, we kind of run the gamut in between those. And so there may be some very specific regulations or requirements for safety needs that those individual projects may have. And then when I do visit a project, I usually try to meet with the project management team so that we can look at how the job is doing. We look at the processes that are in place. We look at how we are connecting with our owner representatives, whether we are meeting expectations from the schedule to the quality to the safety on the job.
So a lot of managerial project management is going on there on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
So, throughout this whole pandemic, we know that many people have had to remake their careers, if you will. We know that some job sectors that they have just suffered tremendously. What are your thoughts on people remaking themselves? For example, women may want to consider careers in construction as they've had to, maybe remake their career, look at an area that they probably had not considered before now. So what are your thoughts on that?
I would tell them that there are opportunities available for women in the industry. And one thing that one of my colleagues has put together is a project called Project Accelerate. And Naywick used to have a program in the state of Michigan where we focused on children and introducing children to the concept of the construction industry. And we looked at young women who were between the ages of about 14 and 18 to say, hey, construction is a career that you can get into. But we've really found that you have to start much earlier than that, because by the time kids get into middle school, they've already got their career paths chosen. Their parents are pretty much set on going to college or whatever, and they don't often think of technical programs like the building trades. But Project Accelerate is a 6-week program very much focused on the building trades, introducing adult women who have been displaced through layoffs, maybe divorce, maybe relocation, and they just can't find a job in their traditional skill set. And so the Project Accelerate is a very intense program, about 6 weeks long. And we work closely with the building trades in the state of Michigan to show women what they can do, the opportunities that are available to them, and we connect them directly with the apprentice programs so that they can sign up and hopefully get into an apprenticeship. And if that's not the route that they want to take, we offer them the opportunity to connect with school, with colleges and universities that have construction management programs or something of that nature. And it takes somebody with forward thinking. This kind of grew organically just by making some connections and some phone calls, and everybody wanted to jump on that bandwagon. They all wanted to help us participate with that.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, Kathy, is there anything, any other insight that you want to leave us with today about women in construction?
3 things. Believe in yourself, because I think that we all can do things maybe a little bit more than what we think we can.
Right.
Persevere. Don't ever give up. And dare to take that jump into a new horizon, whether it's a construction or whether it's another field.
Well, I want to thank you, Kathy, for spending time with us. You shared some most excellent information for women that are considering a career, or even young girls that have an interest in doing something not so traditional. So we really appreciate you sharing these little nuggets with us.
Thanks, Sherry. I appreciate it.
Well, that does it for this week's Insights. If you have a question, comment, or story idea, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@wbkb11.com. I'm Sherry Stewart. Thank you again for watching.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.